Hello and welcome. Today's date, it's that of Monday, the 4th of November 2019. My name is Derek. All bets trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management. As always, job number one. So first off, LITECOIN chart having a lot of this resistance in today's session. Coming up to it around 5 o'clock, 5:30, yada yada yada. It has now broken out above it, doing so on 921, barely above it considering how much further you think a leg higher would go. And really, it's a break of the 65.88 handle, as that was the high that was placed at 7 o'clock in the morning. Interesting at the even time stamp. Taking a look at such on the single hour term, we can take a look at the just this general area of resistance in here. It got up to this point. However you want to, I'd maybe think if you put a box area, this might be the lower end, and then this high in here as the upper end, and I see it breaking out from that point now. We're at levels not seen since it was breaking down October the 25th. Now, that's not that long ago, but it does mean here that it's just barely broken out above this level of resistance. On the 8-hour, 1/3 day chart, what do we see for action above the 18 average of highs? Well, from this low, which is the start of September, it had two legs higher. Leg number one with this one higher low, and that was it. Since then, it has held and stayed above this point. Majorly staying above it here, and holding and staying above, but piercing below it here, and really not spending much time below that actual level. It had a little bit of time getting above the 18 average of highs here, not really much. And it even didn't get above it much. This doesn't even really count too much because this was definitely holding and staying below it. This was an interesting one in here because it did have a quick move up before the failed breakdown, and then just a little bit here, but enough to flatten out the band. And now this is a significant break above it now. So is it able, question mark, to do something? Yada yada. We'll wait and see in time. It's already first came up to this level of resistance in here. So now I'd expect this, I think, this move to still go up. Maybe not much more, 67.20ish, 67.30. Another couple percent or so, I think, at least. But could it have a larger, tremendous move? Will a move stop and correct successfully, which means 18, this little area here around 63.88, like in that area, I'd be looking for where I'd want to see it hold. On the daily term time frame, price action's at 6,600 in this lower end, and it's just getting to the 18 average of high. So it needs to really get above like another like 68 plus handle or 3% more even to start to say, oh, I'm attempting to get above the 18 average of highs, which is what it did in here. It just flattened the band out here, nothing more. And then the last time that it was above the 18 average of highs when it was at the highs of 17 handle. Markets go up, markets go down, and I say this all the time. And I'm not here to try to predict, oh, this is when it's going to happen now. It might now, but it's already been down quite a bit. And there's going to be a stage, again, where it's going to go up, and it's not going to be a surprise where I hear, oh, Bitcoin's up, Litecoin might be up 40% in a day or in 4 days, or maybe you have like a 50 or 60, 80 day consistent run where it just keeps going up, or however the destination for the journey may last or present itself towards us. We'll see. Another thing that I'm looking at today is NHL statistics. I really like the New York Rangers laying a goal and a half against the Ottawa Senators. I think that's the only game I like on the puck line. Usually on puck line plays, it's because of higher scoring hockey. Well, this is Darcy Kemper, the Arizona goalie. His final 7 games last year, final 7 games last season, last year, as Y stands for. 410 and a half minutes played, 211 shots allowed, 203 saves, representing a 96.2% save percentage, a 1.17 goals against average, not allowing 3 goals or more, allowing 2 goals. Uh, Actually, these numbers are wrong. I'm just going to delete them. He did have 2 shutouts, though. He's coming off a shutout in his last game 2 nights ago. And so far this season, in 540 minutes, he's had 257 shots allowed, saving 242 of them, 94.2% save percentage, 1.67 goals against average, and has only allowed one goal once in his last. There's 9 games this season, so 16 total. And he's also coming off of a shutout. And he had 2 last year, so 3 shutouts in his last 16 games. Not only once has he allowed more than 3 goals. Also, last year against the Edmonton Oilers, the team that they are playing against, we have a situation where pretty much every game was like 2-2 for the most part, or 3-2 Arizona after regulation. But in each of his 3 starts against Edmonton last year, he allowed 2 goals in 60 minutes each time. They have yet, they as in the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Coyotes have yet to announce their starting goalie. Antti Rada is their backup. Man, whatever. He's not that great. He's not that horrible either, though. And the laying 1.5 goals, the reason why it's doing so well this year and even last year is because of the increased influx of hockey scoring. And this is one of the type of games where it's not that. So I'm not looking to lay in that 1.5 goals with Arizona too much. But I do know a couple ways of playing them. So what you do with this information? Well, I know what I'm doing. Let's move on. And what I'm going to be doing is just waiting to see who the starting goalie is, and then when I find out if it's either Ranta or Kemper, I'm going to do my thing. All right then. So Tezos is next on the list in at 971 Satoshi. Not much data here on the Binance side as it's just starting to really build its chart status, I guess you could say. It had this one leg lower, but not too much. Resistance here at 1011 a few days ago, coming back down to supporting this little general area. So let's take a look at this more short term. And on hour 3 or triple hour term, we can stick a little line in here, and surprise, surprise, price action comes right up to where it came from. That's just like that. And then, surprise, surprise, price action came down to where it came from. And at about 1300 hours yesterday, the price action got above the 18 average of highs, and well, since then has remained such. And not only that, but this current period we have seen, well, it's breaking out of this little bit of resistance here. Let's shorten out the time frame even further. And within the single hour, we can see that well, there's this 3 times hit at this support level, which is just an area of where it came from. This just happened to be where the bottom was. That's why I put the line there. But it's because it did what it was supposed to do. At least it's looking like it's doing what it's supposed to do on a bullish level, and that is hold this area, and then when it's ready to break higher, do its thing. And the thing is, there's the 15-hour timestamp yesterday, coming back down to support, new high, back down to support, and it has obviously just now broken past this new level of resistance. So we'll see where it's able to go from this point further. But you know what? This thing most certainly I think has potential going on. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash because it's got an interesting setup as well too. Now, in the hour time frame, it's just doing whatever, not really anything. Or it's just sticking within this 18. Had a failed breakout attempt here, successfully correcting. And here, well, it's matching it. So far, it has successfully held this level, but until it breaks this resistance or really even this support here at 31.2, kind of sideways. However, when we expand things further on a longer term time frame, what I see here is this it's been holding this support so far. And maybe this line might have a little bit more relevance. We'll take a look at it when we expand even more north of the 3 hour. But what I like about what's been going on from this breakout here, it's always how you react after the fact. So we had this breakout rally here that obviously didn't succeed at its time. But what it did do, it succeeded in establishing a level of resistance. And after coming down from this low, well, and really more importantly, a breakout in here from this point, it has managed to hold and stay above a nice little area. It did come down in here. And what I do like short term is how we've been supporting this little area here and thus spending even more time at this upper area here than we have during this entire run here. And again, this entire run has spent lots of time where it didn't in here, and that's the type of pattern that, to me, I think just can give a lot of good probability for good moves. But this gets even nicer when we take a look at the even more longer term on the 8 hour. We're seeing what looks to be a very big level here at this 32. What I like about this is how we have found support within the 18 lows in here. It's now spending a lot of conjunction time amongst the 18 highs. So really, I look at that as not really succeeding or failing either way. Looking at this on the daily chart, the setup here to me I think is fantastic. Whether it will break above resistance, and breaking above resistance, well, let's see here. And one of the things I like to do is just draw lines. One of the easier ways. And if I draw a line in here, just like the resistance in here, and we can, it's very much a straight horizontal line. This has been straight, but before then we can see that, of course, it well, that's a terrible line. But the point is, it's a firm sideways correction from the time it first hit the lows here in the middle of July, and the first time it hit the resistance at the end of that month of July. So all of August, September, and October has been in this sideways range. But this little bit of how it's handling this spot in here, playing with the 18 average of highs, this resistance coming back down to support. To me, this looks poised for a decent sized move. If you see price action up in this area here, don't be surprised if concisely, probably quickly after that, but in concise form, it makes a move and comes in. It has a test of the previous level of resistance, which comes in near about the 477 to 500 handle. Let's switch this off to Cosmos, Atom. That's the ticker symbol is Atom. And this, why did the line do that? Anyway, and this is a big level here where we're stating at, because it came up to this high on October the 8th, and then a little bit of a pierce above it on the 14th, 15th, and then a larger pierce above it on the 24th. And then you went from, and this is that interesting situation in here. For this high is most certainly a higher high. It was highs not seen that went back to like the near the end of July. And this low was lows not seen going back to like the start of October, or going below this low and the low of October 10th. So you make a higher high, lower low. What have we done since a higher low? 4 days of just hanging in there within the 18 average of lows, and then October 31st, Halloween, it has a move up to the 18 average of highs. How does it react to that? Well, day after that, it pauses. Day after that, it has a low but not microscopic volatile move higher. It was a 4.2% day. But then it paused that day right there after that. And now today, I see this leaving barely starting to newly rise 18 average. To me, this seems poised to make a break up to this 4,700 level. And these lines just represent previous kilos. So this kilo, this kilo, this kilo, this kilo. Don't have one here right now. Don't need one there right now. And we'll finish it off within Bitcoin, which isn't really doing much. And then Bitcoin dominance. And it's really not really doing much either, but I'm still in the wait see game here. If we can get above this resistance, then the next two key levels is about a move around between a lower high, but notice close like 72, and then previous high at 73 and a quarter. And for this rally, this breakout here to be a failed move, I need to see it fail the 18, and it still has a little bit to go just even test it at this stage. The size of this candle not too big, so there's not much volatility. I haven't logged on to Binance yet today, although it's close. If Litecoin just goes up another 2-3%, I got a couple trades I'm going to start pulling off. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.